So like every zombie hunter knows, and you need a decent webbing to hold all your brew kit. So I'm going to show you a stove ready for the zombie apocalypse and show you the stove I'm using for it. This is a multi-fuel stove, which means it'll burn a lot of different types of fuel, whether that's petrol, diesel, mostly any liquid flammables. This is a little cheapie. It was 35 quid and I gave the guy an email and said do it for me for 30. Bit cheeky. And I got an email back and he said yeah, okay. I thought yeah, I'll have that for 30 quid. This is the company that makes the Booster Plus One that I have, and the company is BRS. This is the BRS 12. The top here is similar to my Booster Plus One and the Surveyor also, so it has a flame spreader, has tripod folding legs, so it fits a little flatter, and it's marketed as a picnic stove rather than a hiking or backpacking stove because of its volume and weight. I like this for my zombie apocalypse stove just because it will burn a variety of fuels. Here's the fuel filler cap here, a primer pump, a generator, the flame spreader bar, larger pots. I can bring the legs out like that. Then the feet, 3 of, like that. And I want to make sure I don't lose this flame spreader here, and sometimes that happens, so I'm going to keep my eye on it. It's a 30 quid stove, multi-fuel. It's a cheapie. So I've been running this for a few months. It's been fine for me. So I just need to get some food on the go, and maybe even a bite to eat. I think a bite to eat because I haven't had breakfast, just using the Yugo set. It's just got some food in and some brew making kit. It's a very easy stove to use if you use it correctly. Brew making kit, bite to eat, little cook pot, and I can choose whether to have these pot supports at their full extent, which might be a bit much for this, or fold them in, and that would fit quite nice too. Pot's a bit slippy because of the enamel here is very soft, so I'm just going to dig myself a groove to put the pot leg in so it sits a little flatter. That's better. Now before the zombies get here, I'm going to make myself something to eat. Some pasta will do. Just dig out some water for it and we'll actually see it in action and see what 30 quid of stove buys you. I'll show you how to light this properly. Priming it is a pump which is located here. Evil left-hander. Mine's pretty much primed and it keeps its pressure. First time you do this, you might have to pump it 20-30 times, but like I said, mine's pretty much fully primed. And then the top of mine is a lighter. So now it's fully primed, I just need to use the regulator here and give it a little twist until some fuel fills up this well. So turn this up a little bit. So now the fuel is in the bottom of the bell, I can light it, ensuring the regulator is turned in the off position. Put this back. So it has a dancing yellow flame, and I'm going to allow that because this flame is what's going to heat up this generator bar that sits on top here. So it'll take about maybe a minute or two to heat that generator. Select something to eat, maybe a brew after, who knows. No problems boiling water in this. Put my water back. Once these orange flames have started turning into blue flames, I can start turning it up. It's a fierce little stove. I'll be turning it up to the max. Already the pot support legs are turning cherry red. And this shouldn't take long at all now. There's a lot of power there. I'm not sure how many kilowatts it puts out, but it does bring water to the boil very, very quickly, and even a large amount of water, which will make it a great duo stove if it's two of you and you can share a stove. It's only 30 quid once I handled the vendor down a bit. So for a multi-fuel prepper stove, or in this case a zombie apocalypse stove, multi-fuel means that it'll burn anything. The old noodles in. Try turn it down a bit. Like most BRS stoves, doesn't always want to simmer, but for getting it to boil fast is miraculous. For 30 quid anyway. Splutters between a blue and yellow flame on low simmer, so it's not burning at its most efficient, but it's just about a simmer and it'll hold its own without a windshield. There's better stoves on the market. There are more proficient stoves with better build quality, and you're looking at about at least 80 quid. Maybe you can get one cheaper for something like a Coleman's Feather or the 422, the Exponent, which is the military version of this, around 75 quid. Shop around, might get them cheaper. This is a budget version of something like the Exponent, the 422, the Feather. If you're on a budget, it is going to be pretty handy to have. So I took out the booster, and it is a separate burner head on a nozzle, on a hose, connected to a tank. So a 3-part system. Great for a bit of backpacking, and made by the same company. Some coffee. Yeah, great for a bit of backpacking, but I wished everything was in one unit, a bit like this, where the burner head is connected to the stove and I can transport the fuel actually in the unit itself, so I can evade the zombies very quickly by turning it off and putting it in its housing, which is on my zombie apocalypse webbing. I know for sure somebody is going to comment already about this stove, but more so about the zombie, I reckon. Now the military version of this is the Exponent, made by Coleman's, which is the one I wanted. It's a lot smaller than my other Coleman's, which is the 553 Sportster. That has quite a big burner head on it, great for the winter, but it's heavy. This is right in between the mix. It's a nice budget stove, 30 quid's worth. I'm gonna have to button up my moleskin shirt. It is freezing out here. Before I turn it off, I'm going to remove whatever it is that is on top of the stove so it doesn't fall and scald. Just a regulator valve that I turn clockwise for off. And just like my Booster Plus One, it's quite noisy. So if you're hiding out in the woods, it's going to give you away. Booster make a silent damper for it, which I'd take out the flame spreader and put the damper in. The damper, 38 quid. I've seen them dearer than that. The stove, 30. If I was to get the damper for it, we're up to about 64, 68 quid, depending on where you shop. Now, for that kind of money, I could have bought the Coleman's military version of that, the Exponent, which I quite like. I saw one on the car boot for 15 quid. I didn't have 15 quid. I was gutted. Oh, that was magnificent. That has warmed me up a treat. Stove is now cool enough to put back into my zombie chest rig, and it's just as well because I'm nearly out of fuel. Speaking of which, I'm running mine on Aspin 4. It's lawnmower fuel, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper than Coleman's, but of course if you're not fussy about what you put in your stove, that'll run on anything. It'll run on unleaded petrol. So if you're a motorcycle camper, you can just drain some from your tank on your bike and put a little bit into that. You don't even need to carry reserve fuel. It's only just come in to run out now, and like I said, I've had it a few weeks, maybe 2-3 months, and I think I filled it up twice in that time. Just doing hot brews and boil up foods like you've seen today. It's adequate for the money. Sure, there's better on the market. I'm not saying there's not. You're just not going to get them for 30 quid. So it's been something hot to drink, something hot to eat, and it is a cold day. And now all I have to do is evade the zombies.